Hi, thank you again for joining me so much. Thank you so much. Don't know what I'm saying today. Thank you so much for joining me. That was what I wanted to say. I hope that you are having a fantastic time. So today we are not talking about trademarks. Today we are talking about copyrights. As I always say, the more intellectual property you've got, the stronger shield of protection you've got. And that's because all the intellectual property go hand in hand, all the different types. And so today's question is, why is copyright important? And that is a really, really good question. If you don't know, this is obviously the place to be. So whenever you create something, everything that we are inspired to create starts inside our heads, which is normal. We're all inspired by something. When I wrote my book, I was very much inspired by my favorite professor from Faculty of Law, Morten Rosenmeier. Actually, well, not so much when I wrote my book. Well, also when I wrote my book, and in particular, because at the time when I was studying the law, I actually had a blog about copyright. You might not know this about me, but that's actual fact. It is closed down, so you can't find it anymore. And the interesting thing is, those were just my thoughts, and that's the whole point. Whenever you write something that is your way of expressing it, that is when it becomes protectable, so to speak. And anything that is generic or anything that is like copied and pasted from something else, that is just plagiarism. And plagiarism is, first of all, not protectable. Second of all, it's a really difficult charge to clear yourself from. While I was studying the law in Denmark, there was this female doctor who suddenly got a plagiarism charge laid at her door, and it was really unpleasant for her. It turned out it had nothing to do with her. It was somebody on her team. And still she was the one who took all the criticism and all the bad mouthing and stuff like that. And it took quite a while for her to clean herself of that. So be careful what you do. So let's go back to why copyright is important. If you've written a book, for instance, the way I have, or you've written like material that you send out to clients, or something like that, it has to be when you are doing something that you're not hired to do, because in that case, it's a different situation and a different scenario. So, because if you are hired to by your employer to write something for them, and you write something that's original, they're the ones who own the copyright to that. But if you write something like a book or a blog, or if you take photos, if you film stuff, if you record stuff, what's it called? If you record sound, all of these things are protected by copyright. So that's why copyright is important. It is to help protect you, be as creative as you are. You don't want to have people just copy your hard work and then you are not the one making money from your hard work. The whole point behind the intellectual property legislation is a financial incitement so that people keep innovating and creating. Just pushing the screen back a little bit here. If there are anybody who has any questions, do pop them in the comment box so that I can see them. Otherwise, I won't know what to address for you. Obviously, I've written about copyright in this book as well. Let me see if I've written anything intelligent. I probably have. Where did I put copyrights? Oh, at the very beginning. So what I've written is that copyright comes into being automatically, which is really important for you to know. Literary works, including writing, art, photography, films, television, music, web content, sound recordings, and computer code. You might not know that, but computer code is also protected by copyright legislation. What I've also written is when you express yourself in a creative way, such as writing lyrics to a song, or composing a piece of music, or taking a picture, as I said before, of someone or something in a studio or indeed outside a studio, and you consider every detail of it, or you write a film manuscript and you make this into a unique manuscript by putting your thumbprint on it, then you own the copyright, and you don't have to register it anywhere. There are places like America where they very much encourage you to do that anyway. And this is because in America, they are highly litigious. And so if you have registered your copyright somewhere with, for instance, Writers Guild, then you are in a stronger position for a court case. What people don't realize, actually, let's just move on here, is that snapshots are also protected by copyright legislation. So I find that really interesting. Oh, that's a Danish distinction. Here in the UK, there is no distinction between a snapshot and a photograph. So that's interesting. And I have this really, really interesting little map thing that shows you the different years of protection after somebody, well, in regard to copyright. So this little map came from something called AP-World 6 as a base map, CC by 3,0, and it's Commons Wikipedia org. Yeah, something really, really. Let me show you. That's how you can find that little map. I don't know if it's still available out there or not. Just wanted to show you. And so there is actually in South America, well, that's not true. It looks like it's Mexico or something like that. There is lifetime plus 100 years, and there's another place that's got life plus 99 years. Then there's life plus 80 years, life plus 75, life plus 70, which is mainly Europe, and life plus 60, life plus 50. And then there's the Berne Convention minimum, which is life plus 50 years, except for photographs. Then there's the TRIPS agreement, which covers minimum life plus 50 years. And then there are areas where it's life plus 30 years and life plus 25 years. And then there's one gray area where it is unknown. But you can see these here. And if you're interested, you can either buy my book on Amazon or you can buy it on my website. And let me just quickly pop the link to my physical book for you, because if I pop the services link, it might be too much to ask that you scroll through my different offerings on my website. So yeah, this is the link. It is a heck of a long link. I'm not going to take time to what's it called? Oh my goodness, that is a stupid link. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I need to shorten that down. That is too stupid for words. At least I learned that from doing that. Goodness me. Okay. Well, that's the link to my book, my physical book. Let's see what my ebook link looks like. Maybe that's more palatable. Yeah, here we go. Whoops, this is better, I think. Let's look at that. Yeah, that's more like it. So I don't know if anybody's actually watching this or not, and it doesn't matter. Nobody's posted any questions, so I'll keep going for a little bit, and then so I have this little chapter in the book called How to Protect Copyrights in the Online World. And you might actually find this interesting. So I'm just going to read some of it. I don't think I'm going to read all of it because that might be a waste of your time. And it's not that interesting to see me read. But I'll just read some of it. So a lot of people create content to be shared either online or offline. Some people sometimes... sorry, that was Danish. People sometimes forget that what they find online is, in fact, not something for them to use as they see fit. Particularly the younger generations that grow up now in the times of the information age, where everything more or less can be found online, and they have a tendency to think that whatever is available at their fingertips is to be used as they see fit. This is not so, because people who have created content that is available online have actually put a lot of time and effort into it. So as I mentioned at the very beginning, if you copy and paste, it's called plagiarism, and it's always found out. People are sometimes wrongly accused of it, as I always mentioned at the beginning. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please rewatch from the start. Yeah. So be careful with what you do. Be careful with content that you find online, because if it's not yours and if you haven't put your thumbprint on it, it can actually be somebody else's. It most certainly, in 98% of the cases, will be somebody else's intellectual property, and thus their brainchild. And as empire builders, people want to protect it and they want to earn money from it. So even though it's not registered either with the Writers Guild in America or any copyright offices, that doesn't mean that they don't care about it. They still care about it and it's still theirs. So just be careful with content that you find online. So yeah, I just wanted to share this today. I don't think... Did you actually know that architecture and works of art in public places are also protected? So certain buildings are considered architectural works and as such are protected by copyright law. There is a freedom of panorama clause within various national legislations. The difference between the directives and regulations of the EU is that the directive is a legal act furnished by the EU, demanding of the member states that they comply with certain goals without stipulating how. The regulations are directly applicable without any explanation. So that was a bit of EU law for you there. The Eiffel Tower, for instance, which is a very, very often photographed public building or architectural piece of work, and that is protected. So the design went into the public domain in 1993, and the replicas that are sold on the streets are thus fully legal. There is, however, actually light installation, and the light installation is protected by copyright legislation. Yeah, I've written this here. The lights on the Eiffel Tower were not installed until 1985. That means that showing pictures commercially or in films at night with the light on is an infringement because the lights are considered to be a copyrighted work of art. And you can, of course, as a filmmaker, obtain license to do that anyway, because I think, is it The Devil Wears Prada that they show the Eiffel Tower completely fully lit up? It's so beautiful, by the way. So this is just a heads up for you. And this is also one of the reasons why copyright is so important. Anyway, as there are no questions and nobody has commented, I'm just going to wrap up for today. So thank you so much for watching either live or on replay. I shall see you next Tuesday. Bye for now.